chosen, we're going to go through them now. The items that I chose will be covered last for each segment. We are going to go with the non-deal first, since that's how they're arranged in the document. First up, we have my version of the item R-Key. R-Key in Isaac resets the run as an active item. You keep all of your items from the previous run in this reset, however. This can be very good if, say, you beat Mega Satan and instead want to get a different gold, like, I don't know, the Beast. If you have R-Key, kill Mega Satan, go straight for the Beast. Very good item. Possibly one of the best items in the game. So I have made it into D&D by not making it a literal R-Key like it is in Isaac. However, I did make it into a totem, known as the Totem of Resurrection. It is a wondrous item and legendary and requires attunement. This item is said to give people great strength in a number of ways once they have fell in battle. Upon reaching 0 hit points, this item reduces your character level by 1. You keep all your class levels, however. You keep the same HP, you keep everything. You just go down a character level. This does affect proficiencies, however. The reason I should mention, once the item is used in this way, it destroys itself. I word it this way because if you just get it, I don't want it to be like you have an attunement slot forever to have basically 21 character levels. Because that would be dumb. Yes, you are wasting something, but that doesn't stay in the spirit of the item. So, the spirit of the item, I just made it so that you gain an extra character level, basically. Once you reach 0 HP, you can have 21 total character levels. Normally, it's maxed out at 20. This can be very good if you, say, aren't in Rogue at all. You can just pick one level in Rogue for free, basically. And that will give you expertise and sneak attack. Or you can do Bard. Or you can do a Spellcaster. You can do Barbarian and have Rage on a Rogue at level 20. This can be very powerful. Not as powerful as normal, but as normal Isaac, but powerful nonetheless. Next up, we have Polyphemus. This item normally grants Isaac a huge tier and a massive damage up at the cost of tears. Your fire rate is down. Once this tier has hit an enemy, if it doesn't use up all of the damage, it pierces them and loses the damage it used to kill the enemy. Pretty alright, not gonna lie, pretty good. I noticed, and as I was making these items, I looked at the trivia to find anything interesting, and this item is named after a Cyclops in Greek mythology. So, I named my version Brontis' Might, another Cyclops in Greek mythology. This is a generic variant item, kind of like a Flame Tongue. Because you can have like a Flame Tongue short sword or Flame Tongue long sword, Flame Tongue club, whatever, what have you. This is a rare item, and this also requires attunement. This item, while holding this magic weapon, you can use a bonus action and use a command word to cause the damage dealing part of the weapon to go 3 times its normal size. However, this now requires a strength score of at least 13 to wield, but if you can wield the weapon, you deal 3 times the damage as the normal weapon. This lasts for 10 minutes or until you speak the command word once more. This enchantment can only affect melee weapons, so you can't have this on a bow. That'd be fucking ridiculous. This is pretty good, especially on a barbarian. A lot of these are actually really good on a barbarian. However, not this next one. This next one's actually really good on a paladin. And yeah, whatever's good on melee class is good for basically every melee class but rogue. So, next up is the Flower of Aura, as I called it, otherwise known as Purity in regular Issac. In regular Issac, Purity gives you an aura. Depending on the color of said aura, you gain a stat boost. Orange is damage, yellow is range, I think red is tears, and lastly, I think orange is shot speed up. Pretty good. Pretty alright. And if you take damage, you lose the aura, you regain it in the next room, and it's random. Kind of. I noticed while recording footage for this, actually, that it is pseudo-random, and I have seen no one else talk about it. So, very fun. This item is another wondrous item in D&D, the Flower of Aura. It's also very rare. I should probably make this normally rare, but who knows, who cares. And yes, requires attunement, you get it. I'm not going to list the weight of any of these. I did not put too much thought into the weight, to be completely honest. So, considering how most of these are not going to be that heavy, I just list them as 1 pound. So, for those who care about encumbrance, go off, I guess. So, while this item is attuned to you, it will produce an aura around you much like a paladin, as others you can see can gain the effects of the aura. Once you take any form of damage, the aura changes to one of the 4 listed below. To change the aura, you can also change it by using a bonus action to change it. And you roll a d4 to choose. You can choose a number of creatures equal to your wisdom modifier to be affected by the aura, since this is one of the items that can be found in the angel rooms. I have 4 effects here. We have red, which increases all weapon attacks by 1d6 and has a radius of 5 feet. Great to be a warcaster or a cleric. Or paladin even. Paladin also uses wisdom. Yet their saving throw is charisma for some reason. Very odd. Or it's the other way around. I keep forgetting. Blue increases all spell attacks by 1d6 and it has a radius of 10 feet. I should really swap those two. We'll see if I do in the final upload. Yellow increases speed by 10 feet with a radius of 30 feet. Pretty alright. Especially if you have like a monk. Since for the turn they'll get it. And lastly, orange increases his AC by 1, and it can only affect yourself. I say pretty alright, pretty good. It does have a randomness, which I do like, and it is kind of like, and it is pretty close to Purity. Again, most of these are pretty close. I like Isaac way too much, it seems. Next up, we have the last item, my item I chose for this, which is Sacrificial Dagger. Mainly because I had a very good idea with it, which should be Urn of Souls, I believe, but that is purely an Angel Room item. And I already had a very fun one I wanted to do for Angels. So, Sacrificial Dagger. Obviously, it is a dagger. It is a rare item and requires attunement. It is a simple melee weapon like a normal dagger and does 1d4 slashing instead of piercing because this is an orbital normally. It can also be an orbital here. This is also a finesse weapon like a normal dagger, light and thrown 20 to 60 feet. Normal dagger basically. Except for the slashing damage, but we'll get into that. This weapon provides energy from the planes themselves. While this dagger is attuned to you, you can use the reaction to try and absorb a spell or spell-like ability. You must succeed on a DC 16 dexterity check in order to do this. Once the dagger has absorbed at least 20 points of fire, acid, lightning, cold, radiant, or necrotic damage, you can add 1d6 damage of the absorbed type. I wanted to try and word this in a way where it's like, oh, I absorbed, say, 19 points of cold damage, but I absorbed 1 of fire. Here, I only have 1 of fire, basically. But yeah. And you can have as many of these special d6s equal to your proficiency modifier. So up to 6, basically. This is just in case, because I do know of campaigns where they'll let you have like a rare item at level 1. I didn't want it to be like a snowball. So yeah, pretty alright considering how the other dagger item that I based this off of, the dagger of venom, can only be used once, but it adds a lot more shit. Just kidding. No, this has more shit to it. You can also sacrifice at least 2 hit dice worth of d6s, worth of your own HP, sorry, to have the dagger orbit around you for protection, increasing your AC by 1 for 10 minutes. However, you can't attack with the weapon until it's in this state, and the dagger will not take new sacrifices until the next dawn. So, considering how this item is an orbital, I should probably explain what an orbital is. An orbital in Issac is something that circles around you and protects you from projectiles, and will deal damage to anything in melee range. I think this is pretty cool. I should probably change this to a very rare item, but I don't know. So next up, we have the devil items. As I called them in the document, the lower plane items. I didn't want to, while I was writing this, I didn't want it to be only the 9 hells. I wanted like connections to, say, the abyss, for example, but in the end, it doesn't really change that much. However, these magic items, the following 4, are items that, while you could get, you need to make a Faustian bargain most of the time for these. You can get them normally. They could just be on a dead corpse that you killed, but it's rarely found elsewhere other than the 9 hells or from a person who made a Faustian bargain. So the first item up is obviously the most iconic devil deal item in Issac, Brimstone. Do I even need to explain what Brimstone does? I probably do. Its description says it all. Blood Laser Barrage. Instead of tears, Issac instead has a charge to actually fire, but this fire is a laser that has infinite range and does damage per tick. Pretty good. Pretty damn good. It is honestly, in my opinion, one of the few reasons you'd actually go with the devil deals instead of the angel deals in Issac. However, this does put a stop here. I was thinking, oh, how do I translate this into D&D? Because I didn't want to shut down more than one idea, and I already shot down Dead Cat. Because I have no idea how in the 9 hells I'm going to do Dead Cat without the other guppy items. So, here's what I did. I remembered I was watching a Minecraft video with mods, and I remembered, oh hey, there's a crossbow enchantment with a mod now. So yeah, we're doing this. We're stealing basically that idea. These crossbows hold the power of angry souls. These crossbows are mostly black, but the strings are glowing and crimsoned. While one can load a normal bolt into this, you can also store up to 6 hit dice worth of damage into this crossbow. To use it this way, you must take the 6 hit dice worth of damage to add that amount of fire damage to your damage roll. If fired this way, you don't need a bolt. You don't need it, but having a bolt does extra damage. And this attack has double the range of a normal crossbow shot. Again, this is inspired mostly by the brimstone enchantment in Minecraft, which I don't have footage of. So, because I don't know the name of the mod. Simple as that. Or I'm an idiot. One of the two. Tell me in the comments. Next up, we are skipping one because that is my item, and I want to save those for last. We have Dark Revenge, otherwise known as, in Issac, Abaddon. Abaddon was hard, honestly. Abaddon was the hardest one. Because, again, I already shot down Dead Cat by the person who suggested Abaddon. So, I was thinking, okay, how do I make something that converts all of your HP into black hearts and adds 2? Wait, oh, I know. I'll just do what black hearts do and add an extra little thing. So, Dark Revenge Abaddon in Issac gives you a damage up, a speed up, and as I said earlier, converts all your red HP into black hearts and adds 2. Alright, pretty bad, actually. That is not a very great item. Except for the damage and speed up, honestly. Dark Revenge happens whenever someone attunes to this item. This is not supposed to be a generic variant. This is supposed to be a wondrous item akin to a tattoo. Once you attune to this item, whenever you lose at least 10 hit points worth of damage, you can use the reaction to deal 5 necrotic damage back to whoever attacked you last. No roll necessary. In addition, you also have a +5 to your movement speed and +1 to damage from all spells, as most characters in Issac use projectiles, and I wanted to have spells. Simple as that. It is mostly the black hearts that's doing the work, but whatever. Next up, we have Damocles. Yes, this is also a treasure room item, but this is also a devil room item, which I did not know about, actually. So, yeah, if you feel like you've been cheated with how I did this list, just swap Damocles and Sacrificial Dagger, and the list is a little better. So Damocles is another dagger. It is on a string and therefore does have a reach of 10 feet. It is on a string, so you can just whip it around. It also does slashing damage because, again, if in real life, if you were to use, basically, this is a kunai with chain, if you know that, you are whipping around, that is not piercing anything. Whenever you hit a creature with this weapon, if you are attuned to it, oh yeah, I should probably explain what Damocles does first. Damocles is an item in Issac that is an active item. Once used, it will spawn on a knife directly over Issac forever. All item rooms have doubled the items, and you can take 2. Most of the time, only 1 item. Pretty great. However, here's where the bad part comes in. If you take any damage Damocles will eventually fall on you, instantly killing you. Unless you have Holy Mantle or another life. We'll get to Holy Mantle later. Don't worry. Pretty good, pretty good. How I translate it into D&D is that whenever you hit a creature with this weapon, if you're attuned to it, it will create gems worth of 10 gold per gem. Per hit, per gem. Who cares? However, if you do decide to make the gems appear, you have advantage to get hit by other creatures. You might get hit more often if you get too greedy. You might die if you get too greedy. Greed, man. And lastly, my item. I chose to do Dark Arts. It is my favorite item in Issac. It is the signature item of Tainted Judas. And what this item does in Issac is that you go intangible for about 5 seconds. Or earlier if you and you can end it early if you shoot here. You can go through enemies and deal damage to them, or you can do projectiles and, well, basically nullify them. However, if you're Tainted Judas or Dark Judas, I learned that Dark Judas also gets this buff for some reason. If you use Dark Arts and tag anything, a projectile or enemy, you gain more damage. That does fade. We are keeping that for everyone. Mainly because I don't know what class Tainted Judas or Dark Judas would be in. They'd be in the same class, but I don't know which one. And I didn't want to write more than I had to. So, Grim Arts is what I called this one. I didn't want all of them to just be ripped. I already did a few that were ripped straight from Issac. This is a sickle weapon. Because scythes don't exist, I wanted to do a scythe. It's also a rare item. It should be very rare. These items should not be rare. And requires attunement. It is also a melee and a simple weapon. It is 1d6 slashing and light, with the added benefit of being finesse as well. Mainly because of your tagging people. This weapon has been said to be used by the Grim Reaper himself. However, this weapon always has a bit of blood on it, as well as a hellish look to it. As an action, you can use the weapon to become intangible for 6 seconds, aka the entire round. You can tag creatures within your movement speed, plus 10 feet, by moving into the same space as the creature. Once you use your full movement speed, you deal 1d8 necrotic damage to every target. You also gain a modifier on your next attack equal to the amount of tagged creatures, plus your dexterity modifier on the next damage roll. Pretty great, pretty great. By the time this comes out, this is going to be obsolete. Hi, yes. I am removing the intangibility part because I realize that is incredibly broken. We're removing the intangibility part because that literally does not matter when it is your turn in D&D. So, yeah. I say this weapon's pretty great. This one's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now is the angel items. Same thing with the devil items. It's upper planes. I want to include more than just Mount Celestia. Mainly because I don't know what planes players would get these items from, really, aside from Mount Celestia. So, first off, we have Holy Mantle. Holy Mantle. Normally, in Issac, it just blocks 1 damage per room. That is incredibly broken. It is what makes Lost fun. And an actual challenge character rather than Jacob and Esau and Tainted Lost. Actually, Dan Lost is not too bad either. Holy Mantle is a wondrous item and is also legendary and requires attunement. All these do again. Every item in this list requires attunement. Well attuned to this item, It will negate a damage from one source. Once this shield has blocked damage once, it won't block damage again until the next dawn. You always have the effects of the spell Protection from Good or Evil on you as well. This is just so it can be legendary, because I didn't want this item to just block one source of damage until the next dawn. That'd be it. That'd be boring. So, Protection from Good and Evil is a shield. Next up is Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart in Issac. It gives you damage up, gives you a full heal, gives you a red heart container if you are a character that can take those. Otherwise, it is a just normal soul heart. And gives you homing, but reduces your shot speed. My god, this item is powerful. And so I made it appropriately so. Sacred Wand is the D&D version. And we are attuned to this item as it is a wondrous item because wands store spells. This one doesn't. It augments spells. Because while attuned, this item will allow you to cast... will allow any spell cast to have the effect of Magic Missile, where it will automatically succeed the attack roll. This will also include things like Fireball, making everyone fail their saving throw. However, using this effect will cause the damage die on the spell to go one dice lower. So if it's a D8, it becomes a D6 worth of damage. If it's normally D6's worth of damage, it becomes D4's worth of damage. Pretty alright, pretty alright. And you can do this equal to the wisdom modifier times 2. So at most 10 uses before it resets the next dawn. Oh god. This is powerful. This can be very powerful, or it can be very weak. Who knows? Items are very hard to test. Kind of. Next up, we have Crown of Light. Crown of Light is an item that is very good if you don't get hit. This item will increase your damage by doubling it, I believe. It'll also grant you shot speed up, and that's pretty much it. It is very good at dealing damage. However, get hit once, those effects are gone. So, here's what we did. Or, well, I did, because again, I'm the only one working here. This is a wondrous item, and it's called Holy Crown this time. It also requires attunement. While this item is attuned to you and on your head, you can deal an extra 2d6 damage on all attacks as long as your HP is at the maximum. However, at the start of every dawn, this item does give 2d4 temporary hit points. Once you're below your maximum hit points, the crown grows dim and requires at least 1 minute to reactivate after you gain full hit points. Because that's also how the item works. Once you get hit in a room, no matter if you have full red heart containers, it will just not be active until the next room. Pretty alright, pretty alright. And last but not least, my Angel Room item, Vade Retro. Normally what this item does is that it actually kind of sucks. I thought this would be really cool in D&D though. It is an item that well equipped in your active item slot. Any enemy you kill will become a ghost. And once you use the item, the ghost blow up. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty alright, pretty alright. I like it, I like it. So, how did I translate that? Well, Spear Command is the item of name. It is a wondrous item that is rare and requires attunement. While this item is attuned, creatures you've killed will turn to a small ghost that you command. They can only ram into other creatures while in this state and cannot be targeted. The ghosts are a ranged attack, dealing 2d6 necrotic damage upon a hit. they will also disappear afterwards. All in all, I think these are pretty great items, and I would definitely have them in my own campaign. What do you guys think, I wonder? However, I will say, please be gentle. Well, this time, I did not do my job properly. As long as you guys like these items, I don't really care, to be completely honest. So, have a wonderful day, and we will see you all next time when I will either do one of two things. Either it's going to be a new race, or it's going to be a subclass. I am really going to like the subclass. I honestly think y'all would too. So, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!